In 2020, the best iPhone available cost $1,449. In 2026, it cost $1,999. That's a price increase of nearly 40% in just 6 years. Apple products cost a lot of money. I mean, a lot. But business continues to boom. The company remains one of the most valuable in the world and one of the most profitable. Why are people so willing to spend so much money on Apple? Okay, there are many reasons for this, but today we're focusing on one specific strategy that Apple has perfected like no other company: upselling. Or in other words, how to make insanely high prices seem somehow logical. Apple has a knack for presenting technological advancements in such a way that a $2,000 phone suddenly feels like a rational necessity. Let's say we want to buy a new phone from Apple. By the time we've reached this decision, we've already come a long way. So sleek, so beautiful, the ads were so great, our friend swears by them. The devices stay fast forever, and wow, they look good. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the investment. Now we're faced with an important decision. We're spending money, but how much? And here, Apple helps us like almost no other company to reach the only right decision. Very much. That's the goal of upselling: to get a customer to spend as much money as possible on a given purchase. A car dealer probably does this quite aggressively. Oh yes, the leather is comfortable, I can recommend it. It's worth it. And so on. He wants to drive up the final purchase price of the car, typically through a more luxurious interior or perhaps a better sound system. Apple takes a much more subtle approach by setting price points so close together that resistance to paying the extra cost melts away. Let's take a look at the website. We scroll a bit and the products are showcased. Then we come to a section called Explore the Lineup. This is where it starts. We could get the iPhone 17e for around $599. That's what we had in mind. But by today's standards, it's small and it only has one camera. Not even a dynamic island or an always-on display. But look, the iPhone 17 costs only about $200 more. If we're already spending money on a good phone, maybe we can stretch to that. Although, just one small step further and we're at the Pro model with the better build, the better chip, and the significantly better camera. The Pro Max might be a bit much. Although, wow, the battery life is seriously impressive and they really do last forever. No. You don't have to go overboard. The iPhone 17e is fine, right? But we watch a lot of videos on our phones and stuff, and the extra $8 a month on the payment plan isn't that much more. Oh, come on, let's get the iPhone 17. Oh, the new colors are nice. I'll take blue. How much storage do we need? 256 gigabytes is definitely too little in 2026 for high-resolution photos and 4K videos. If I want 1 terabyte, I have to switch to the Pro model, which might be a bit unnecessary, but $512 is pretty nice. Then the monthly payment is still within a reasonable range. Unfortunately, I don't have an iPhone to trade in. Oh cool, we end up at $999. Luckily, we can take out a loan that further obscures the actual price and breaks it down into small chunks. What just happened here? Of course, my example is a bit over the top, but that's basically how upselling works. You create mental steps in the buying process, generating many small moments of comparison. Taken on their own, the comparisons all seem rational. Sure, I'd rather have the better camera. Of course, I want the model with the latest chip. And having too little storage is just silly given the size of today's apps. The individual comparison options keep creating pressure. That's how we slowly make our way from point A, a phone for about $600, to point D, a device for around $1,300. Each step on its own felt somewhat logical, just a $200 premium here, a few extra dollars a month there. The real genius lies in the fact that we leave the store feeling like we've saved money, even though we've just spent as much as we could. But what if the situation had been this? Either the basic 17e for $599, or the fully loaded iPhone 17 for $999, we probably would have opted for the cheaper option. It was the many small considerations in our attempt to make a reasonable decision each time that led us here. The whole thing is, of course, further supported by Apple's clever web design. Nothing is too intrusive. Above all, the process feels user-friendly. Either way, upselling is a goldmine for Apple. Let's take a closer look at storage in particular. With the iPhone 17 Pro, you can buy an additional 744 gigabytes for $400. This storage consists of NAND flash chips. It's hard to say exactly how much Apple pays per gigabyte. Due to the current AI boom, the market price climbed to about 25 cents in early 2026, with further price increases expected in the near future. In my case, Apple sells each gigabyte for 54 cents. Of course, there are logistics and development costs, but the extra effort for Apple to simply install a chip with more capacity is minimal. This makes storage upgrades the most profitable feature of all. Analysts have estimated the profit margin on these upgrades for years to be well over 70%. As a customer, the $100 or $200 surcharge might seem almost logical at the time. After all, you don't want your phone to be full after a year. But for Apple, it's almost pure profit. Of course, these are all just rough estimates and speculation. It's very difficult to estimate exactly how much Apple earns from what. And since iPhone storage still can't be expanded via a microSD card, you often have no choice but to opt for the expensive upgrade right at the time of purchase. It is a form of gentle coercion that we disguise as comfort. Oh, right. We haven't even finished buying our iPhone yet. Last but not least, we can take out insurance for just $119.99 a year. Or wait, there's another option for all my devices. After all, I also have my MacBook and my AirPods. For just $5.99, I can even add another device. I decide to go with this one. That's what's called cross-selling. Here, the goal isn't to sell an upgrade, but an additional product or service. A well-known example would be, would you like fries with that burger? And, well, if I'm already spending $999.99, I might as well want to be as well protected as possible in case of damage.
Sweet home Alabama.
Apple's website is a prime example of online upselling. The many mental stages in the purchasing process create numerous small moments of comparison. The customer is meant to get lost in these comparisons, which in small steps repeatedly offer the prospect of something better. But Apple is, of course, by no means the only company that has mastered this perfectly. Take the product suggestions on Amazon or the ordering kiosks at McDonald's, which, through clever visual guidance, still make the larger meal or the extra topping seem appealing. Sometimes it might help to think more about prices and how things are presented to you. It might only be a few extra dollars a month if you're already spending a lot. But what are you really paying for? Is it worth it? In the end, the feeling that you've just made a smart decision by upgrading to a slightly better option is often the exact opposite of a rational purchasing decision. Once you've figured out how the system works, you might shop less often, but you'll make more informed choices. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. What do you think about Apple's current pricing and upselling techniques? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. Here are some more videos you definitely should check out. Take care.